The etcetera prayer. From the all-night putt-putt range on the outskirts to the Mama's Dream instant pavlova drive-in takeaway beside the old highway to the iguana reptile park, all dead and dying dreams, receive the light. For all the women living alone with their children on the outskirts in outer-lying Housing Commission suburbs who tick the boxes marked separated, unmarried, divorced, de factoed, who wait cold-legged on windy bus stops for that mid-morning connecting bus to the shopping town in the next satellite suburb, who dream on the collapsed inner springs of lapsed mattresses, stained with the reveries of next fortnight's direct payment, of next Saturday night's bus to the dance at the army barracks, receive the light, etcetera, etcetera, etcetera. To the families who drive their Volvos, their Saabs, their Audis through these depressions, these suburbs of a Sunday arvo, and can't help themselves saying, oh, look at the state of the cars, look at the amount of bottles, look at the number of undernourished and neglected poor-looking little kiddies. Wind down the windows of your air-conditioned, side impact protection Volvos, your every safe-to-feature crumpled zone front and rear optional Saabs, your driver airbag impact safety device Audis, and receive the light, etc., etc., etc. And let us now pray lip service to the unemployed bodgy jobber, the do-gooder social worker weaving and warping the social fabric of lies, to the computer hacker flying down the information highway, to the pilgrims in sturdy plimsolls still walking the commons and the trade routes, stout staff in hand, for the boxer in search of his killer instinct, for the hubcap thief in search of his box full of smarts, to the sex kittens and flesh pots, to the eye candy and trophy wives and their pure self-destruction. And let us pray lip service to all those hell-bent on a perfect contrition, a perfect obliteration, to all those who totally exclude themselves as if they were infectious, always on the outside looking in. Let us pray lip service to so much brutalised innocence, so much butchered innocence, so many broken children, to so many lost children on Nauru, on Lampedusa, Manus Island, on the Turkish border, the Lebanese border, the Gaza Strip, the Calais jungle, on inflatables floating around in the Mediterranean. And let us pray now for all the dry drunks white-knuckling it and the wet brains hugging their bottles of gum, etc., etc., etc. And when the bells toll at the Sacred Heart for another dead junkie, pray for all those whose lives are a meditation on the dark, hopeless days between crucifixions and resurrections. And let us pray for the self-funded retirees suffering relevance deprivation and echo chamber effect confirmation bias, the mum and dad investors with bill shock in the grip of tax bracket creep, etc., etc., etc. For all those ascending to a Prozac heaven and all those crashing from the serotonin sky, let us pray for all the abrasives, those who go against the grain, cross-counter to the current, who have cut themselves on the bias. Oh yes, pray for all those lovely skirts that flare. And let us pray also for all those who go with the flow, all the go-alongs to get along. And for old ladies who sit perfectly dressed in the armchair in front of their open doors, waiting in case a visitor might come calling, watching for the postie, the neighbour's wave, the man reading the water or gas meter. For those who display weaponised victimhood, for those who poke their sleeping dog ex-lovers and watch them turn from dog to wolf, for those who let their ex-lovers lie fallow floating in their sea grass beds. And also let us pray for those caught out cheating via pocket phone mishap. And let us pray for the ram raiders, the home invaders, for the white-collar criminals and the spree killers, for the spin doctors and nail sculptors, for the televangelists in their mega temples, and for all the inspirational speakers and their networks who fill so many yappy rooms full with the clap, 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 ha, ha, happy feel-good factor, etc., etc., etc. And let us pray finally and most fervently and ferociously for all those who believe they are unredeemable, etc., etc., etc.